Hi, welcome back, you beautiful souls. This will be part two to my new 500 sub What If. So, where we last left off, we left off, like the last one, I kind of was jumping around and I wanted to explain. He asked David to start dating Melissa pretty much the day, like a day or the week after um, he healed All Might. But so, like a lot of the other stuff I went over happened within that first year of them dating, basically. So, I'm going to be doing a time skip to. I'm going to be doing a time skip to about a year later, and Izuku asks Melissa if if where she wants to go for some place, and like asking her out on a date and asking her where do you want to like eat tonight. It can be anywhere, just like name a place. And she says, well, I honestly don't want to go anywhere, Izu. I really just want to spend this afternoon with you. And Izuku kind of smiles. Is like, well, how about this then? You come over to my place this afternoon, and I'll cook you dinner. And Melissa kind of smiles at this and basically stands up and kisses him and says, "Well, I've got some things I have to do, and you have a busy day today. You should get your work done because this is the Saturday, the day of the week that Izuku comes to his office." And he basically he pages David, and David's like, "Well, boss, I can't really have something to do. Can we meet up in like an hour?" And Izuku says, "Yeah, that works out, Professor." And David tells him, like, "You don't have to call me that. You can call me Mr. Shield if you want." And Izuku's like, "It's weird calling you anything but Professor." And so Izuku ends the call, and then he calls his secretary and tells her to clear his schedule for the rest of the afternoon. He has some things that he has to take care of, and basically tells her, "I've pretty much taken care of everything. There are a few details if you can deal with it for me." Basically, David in the company now is pretty much really high up, and there's only a few people in the company that can really go toe to toe with David as far as the business aspect of the company goes. And Izuku's secretary being one of them. She's basically his left hand in this company. When Izuku's not there, she can have it's as anything that she says is basically what Izuku says, because he does communicate with her. This is why he doesn't have to be there at the company every day he is, because the past year he's been taking time off to really develop his relationship with Melissa and basically help her out with the training and getting understanding of her new abilities. So we cut to a couple of hours later, and David comes in and he's like, "Mr. Midoriya, what did you need to see me about?" And Izuku kind of walks behind him and closes the door to his office, and he asks David to sit down, and David does, and Izuku immediately gets down on his knees, and he basically says, I asked you here because I know I don't, it's been a little awkward the past year, but, Mr. David, I would really like to have your daughter's hand in marriage." And David is like, what do you mean? And Izuku's like, yeah, I know I'm young, but, well, we've known each other for, like, what is it now? I'm 16, I'm 15, she's 17, and, like, I know she's 17, but I promised that I would be able to take care of her, and honestly, like, I honestly can't see myself with anyone else but her. And everyone is probably thinking that Izuku's like, this is like too soon. But mind you, Izuku's had a super intelligence quirk since his birth, and he's way more mature than anyone else. Like, he's running a multi-billion-dollar company. Like, in almost $1 trillion yen company, pretty much. So, this would make sense that Izuku is like this, like, mature. So David's like, have you talked to your parents about this? And Izuku's like, yeah, my mom and dad basically told me it's your life, you can do what you want with it. And that they do like Melissa, like, because she's pretty much been like one of my best friends, like, in my life, and I don't know, I just want to spend the rest of it with her. And David, like, says, well, in that case, with what you just said, Izuku, I give my blessings. And does she know about it? And Izuku's like, no, I haven't asked her yet. I wanted to ask you first for permission before I asked her. And, well, I'm a little nervous about it. And also, there's some things that I've been working out, and I'll tell you later. And Mr. David's like, anything else that you want to talk about? And Izuku's like, well, what's her favorite food? Because every single time I ask her that, I can't, like, directly ask her, because then she definitely suspects something's up. How smart she is and everything that's happened. And Izuku, like, he basically points to, like, his chest where, like, Emerald is. And yes, David does know about this, because after Melissa, like, put Sapphire on and bonded with they had to sit down and explain to Mr. Shield, David Shield, about, like, the whole thing. And this did pique his interest, and he has been helping Izuku on, like, on Project Gaia. And also Project Phoenix. The project name I said in the last part, I'm changing it to Project Phoenix. And David's literally the only person that knows about these two projects. And so he does know about the stones, and he's like one of only 4 people that know about them, because there's obviously Melissa and Izuku, and also David. Izuku's parents don't even know about this. So David's like, well, it seems like you've really gotten this planned out. And Izuku's like, well, I did ask her, like, where she wanted to eat, and she said she wanted to spend the evening. And I guess I have been thinking about this for the past hour, and I want to cook her favorite dish. So again, Mr. David, can you help me out with this? And David then explains her favorite meal. And Izuku's like, whoa, that's going to be rough to get the ingredients for, but, well, I'm off. I've got to go gather things, and please don't tell Melissa about this. I really want to surprise her. And because of the past year with being bonded with Sapphire, Melissa has gained a little bit more maturity than what she normally has. I'd say she's about the maturity level of a 22-year-old, and Izuku's about the maturity level of a 30-year-old. Because for Christ's sakes, the dude has like multiple PhDs in medical science. And Izuku is legitimately a doctor. Like he can perform just about any kind of surgery that you can think of. Like he has a neuroscience doctorate, he has a biochemistry doctorate, and like so he's really smart and really mature. He's super rich, and after David leaves Izuku's office, he like David's just thinking, it's like, wow, well, I couldn't have asked for a better son-in-law. And because David does have a cordial relationship with Izuku and does know a lot about Izuku's secrets. Like he doesn't Izuku he basically Melissa and All Might are the only ones that know he's the Green Streak, because he's never explained the super speed aspect to like anyone but those two. And just like Deku, Melissa doesn't really show off like her super speed. She really just shows off her strength, which will play a key part in the next video. So she's gotten ready, and she's gotten into like a dress kind of like the one that's in canon, and I believe this was pulled from the anime or someone did a really good job, but I do remember seeing this floating around like the official site, and that's actually where I picked this up from. Was actually from like a wiki page about the two heroes. But if anybody knows who the original artist for this is, please let me know, because I just pulled it off a stock website and I have looked for it and I can't really find any details. So that being said, we're back to our story. Izuku has cooked all this by hand because he has learned like a few skills, because he does live by himself. And his parents do live in the same city, and he does go see them like every couple of days and to like talk with them and basically like have like family dinners and stuff like that. So Izuku has cooked like this meal. Melissa shows up and she just basically walks through the front door, and you just hear a voice saying, "Miss Shield, welcome back." And she's like, "Whoa, that's new. You like, I guess he's upgraded you a bit." And the security assistant says, "Yes, Miss Shield. He's did a revamp the other night, and I'm able to better access who's entering and leaving. That's why you didn't have to use your key or your code for the security system anymore. I've already scanned it and confirmed your identity on walking up." And she's like, "Whoa, so he's put that outside as well." And it says, "Yes. Well, in any case, Mr. Midoriya wanted me to pass a message off to you. He wants you to meet him in the kitchen." So she makes her way to the kitchen, and when she gets closer to the kitchen, like she starts smelling something that's really nice. And when she enters, he's just like, "Oh, you're here. I'm not done cooking yet, but I kind of figured like we can finish up here." And Melissa's like, "Oh, okay." And she notices like she sees like a bunch of her favorite things, and she's beginning to suspect something's up. And this is when Izuku turns to her and says, "Melissa, there's something I've been wanting to ask you for a couple of weeks now, and I'm not really sure how to say it, and I asked you out for dinner to like ask it, but I'm not really sure how to go about it. So, in any case, Izuku basically walks over to her, and he starts to like fumble with his words, and she basically puts her hands on his shoulders and like gives him a kiss on the forehead, and it's like, calm down, calm down. Like you really need, like you need to calm down. You always think too much and you overthink things. Just ask the question. And Izuki basically gets down on a knee and pulls a box out of his back pocket. And Melissa just is standing there like in shock, and she's like, Izuku, what's going on? And Izuku opens the box, and he's like, well, Melissa Shield, I've known you for almost 8 years, and the past year's been amazing, and I don't want it to ever end. Will, will you marry me? And, well, you don't have to give me an answer, like, right now. You can think about it, but in any case, like, I got this, and I made all this food for you, and I just figured that I could ask you tonight, and you can think about it. And then immediately Melissa like starts like tears start coming down her face, and Izuku's like, what's wrong? And she basically pulls him up and gives him a kiss and says, I like, yes, definitely yes. And then they kiss, and a few moments later Melissa is standing there in shock, and Izuku like is saying, "Oh my God, I've been such an idiot. Of course, it would involve their DNA." And Melissa's like, "What do you mean?" And Izuku's like, "Well, we'll discuss that later. But right now, we should enjoy the food before it gets cold." So they do end up eating, and Izuku basically, like, at the end, and Izuku's, like, asked, Melissa's like, so, did something happen with you and Sapphire when we kissed the second time? And she's like, yeah, it said something weird about passing an ability to you, or, like, a weaker version of an ability, and Izuku's like, yeah, I kinda had that happen too, and, well, I kind of gave you like a little bit of my martial arts learning capability, and Melissa's like, well, I gave you a little bit of my like perfect recall, and it's Sapphire said it wouldn't be perfect, but it would be a weaker version of it. And Easy's like, yeah, I've kind of figured that out. That's what had been happening the past couple hours, because I have been able to start remembering things. But in any case, so are you really sure about this? Because we're still kind of kids. And she basically says, well, I am a little bit older than you, Izuku, and I honestly, past year's been amazing for me too. And after, like, she kind of puts her hand to her chest, after me and Sapphire bonded, I've remembered everything about what you've done for me, and all the things where like you've hid the secretive green streak. And I understand you didn't tell me because you wanted to protect me. You didn't want anything falling back on me. Well, I'm here to tell you, Izuku, I don't want you to deal with these things on your own. If something happens, please let me know. That's all I ask. And I've been talking to Uncle All Might. He says that he can get me transferred in, but they're going to have me take the entrance exam just to like prove that I'm worthy to actually join UA. Even though like Uncle All Might assures me that I really don't have anything to worry about, I still want to like really train, and I wanted to ask you if you can help me with my studies academically, because like we already do a lot of physical training, and I'm fairly competent in like the practical portion. I'm just a little nervous on the theory exam. And Izuku says, yes, I'll definitely help. So Melissa basically spends the night, and Izuku had mentioned this to David about about her spending the night, and David did tell him, like, not before you guys are married. I don't want to have grandkids yet, and you kids are still too young for that. And Izuku like says, yeah, I wouldn't do that, and I basically don't want to take our relationship to that step until after marriage as well. So you have nothing to worry about that, Mister. You don't have anything to worry about that, Professor. Is how the conversation went. So Izuku, like the next morning, wakes up early because he basically does the same thing where he only sleeps for an hour, and he usually sleeps between 1 and 4 in the morning, and it varies from night to night. So he's gotten up at 4 and he starts making breakfast. Like he had to run out and get a few things. Because he basically wants to make breakfast in bed for Melissa. And he does, and he kind of nudges Melissa and like kissing her on the forehead, and she wakes up and she's like, "Oh, so you've come to wake me up. What's going on?" And Izzy says, "Well, I also wanted to make breakfast in bed for you." And Melissa smiles and looks down, and like it's her favorite breakfast item. Sorry about that interruption. My boss was calling me. Um, so I believe where I left off. Izuku had served Melissa breakfast in bed, and he basically tells her, "Well, I have something special also to show you. It's a new building I've been. It's a building like I've had built specially for us, and the equipment here has kind of run its course. This is more the equipment I have here at my place is more so for testing out stuff. It's not really equipped for us to like really train. And I have been thinking about this because I had planned on joining UA as well, and I figured I need a place that I can really train and practice. So he says, I'm going to be down in the lab and taking care of a few things and making sure everything's locked up and Ruby's safe. And Melissa's like, okay, so we'll meet up in an hour and a half. And so Melissa gets up and she says, crap, I didn't bring a change of clothes. And he says, it's fine. Like, the closet over there is completely stocked full of, like, anything that you could possibly want. I'm sorry, I kind of bought a bunch of clothes for you, like, last week, because I thought maybe one day you may stay over and this could possibly happen. And she basically kisses him on the forehead and says, thank you. And she looks down at her hand and she's like, I can't believe we're engaged. And Mizuku's like, yeah, I'm kind of having a hard time with that myself. So I'll see you in an hour and a half. It should take me about that to get everything ready and secure. So Melissa, she gets up and she walks into the closet and she sees like all these different types of clothes, and she's like, wow, he really did get things for me and they meet my style. And there's also a note on a box, and it says, it has a letter, and he's like, and the letter says, Melissa, if you're reading this means you said yes. I know like all this luxury stuff isn't really your thing, but I hope one day you'll wear this. And she opens it, and it's one of the most beautiful like dresses like she's ever seen, and she's like, whoa. And so she basically puts it back in the box and puts it on the one of the racks there, and she grabs some clothes like, and she goes to like the shower to like she starts going to like the shower that she normally uses. And this is when the basically Izuku made the security system, like actually created an AI for his home, basically turning his home into a smart home. And the AI is like, Miss Shield, where are you going? Like, aren't you going to use the shower? And she's like, yeah, I'm going to. And the AI says, Miss Shield, well, each room is equipped with its own personal shower. And she's like, what? I never knew that. And it's like, well, you've never really stayed the night. Mr. Midoriya had planned this. Like, if he ever had guests, that he would want them to have as much privacy as possible. So if you walk through the door over there, basically, like it's able to produce certain, like basically it explains like the door over to the right. If you walk through the door, man, that's your personal bathroom. And she walks, and like kind of kind of bland. And she's like, whoa, wait, are you recording in here? And the security system basically says, well, Miss Yolt, the only thing I can do in here is talk with you. I can't really see you because Mr. Midoriya did say that there are a few that do have security systems in it, but yours and his are private. There's no recording, just verbal communication. And no, he did say that there, under any circumstances, no recording audio at either in these two bathrooms. So basically, you can communicate to me and I can have stuff done for you. Sorry about that. But in any case, Mr. Midoriya, he will be ready in an hour. And she's like, whoa, that's sooner than expected. Whoa. Okay, so basically Zuko does what he needs to do, and Melissa gets ready and dressed. Okay, sorry about that. Also, I had another phone call coming in. So, Izuku they basically begin to walk. And I'm going to say this is about around the time when the Sludge villain attack happened. And people are like, oh, so we're going to see All Might save there someone? Like, how's he going to do this? Is probably what some people are thinking. So Izuku and Melissa are walking, and they hear a couple of explosions, and Izuku turns to Melissa, and she's like, fine, okay, let's go check it out, because Izuku still is kind of a hero fanboy. And so they make their way to these explosions, and when they get closer to where they're coming from, Izuku is he's very interested, like what's going to happen. He sees like the pros like doing something, and he hears them say, he's got a kid, like, oh my god. And everyone stay back. And he hears one of the pros like, our quirks aren't suited for this. Sorry, kid, you're gonna have to wait until someone with a more suitable quirk happens. And then Izuku just has this sneaking suspicion about some things, and he's like, and then he catches a glimpse of the kid that's caught, and he's like, where have I seen that hair before? And like another explosion goes off, and it hits Izuku. He's like, no, it can't be. No. aren't any pros that are going to help? And he's looking around. The pros aren't doing anything. And he turns to Melissa with just this look on his eyes. And she's thinking, it's like, oh crap. And before she can say anything, Izuku just leaps from the back of the crowd and jumps like to where there, and the pros is like, kid, get out of there. You're gonna get yourself hurt. Izuku basically grabs onto Kachan and throws a punch, basically splattering the sludge villain across the wall. And he basically quickly jumps back to over where the pros are at, like a little bit further away from the sludge villain. And he sits Katsuki down, and like pros come up to the ending after the people do their things, like the medical professionals, like the ambulances and stuff. And the pros are grilling him. It's like, that's crazy, kid. Like, you have that kind of strength? Who are you? What's your name? And he's just like, I've got to go. And he walks over to Katsuki, and he's like, I'm sorry about this, but I don't have time to explain it, and I need to get out of here. And he basically picks Katsuki up and just jumps to like a few buildings over. And Katsuki's thinking this whole time, he's like, where do I know this person from? I know them somehow, but where? And so when Izuku lands, a few seconds later, this woman appears next to Deku, and basically kisses him and says, Izu, what was that all about? And who is this? I've never seen that look on your face before. And Izuku kind of breathes out, and he's like, walks over to Katsuki, like, giving him his hand to like him up, because he did kind of like drop Katsuki a little bit. And he's like, long time no see, Kachan. And Katsuki's like, wait, Deku? Wait, how did you get so strong? Last thing I knew about you, you went off to select a school for the gifted. I thought you were just smart. You have a super strength quirk on top of an intelligence quirk? That's amazing, dude. And Izuku's like, no. And then he looks and it's like, wait, you have a girlfriend as well? And Melissa, like, pipes up and says, fiance. And Katsu's like, what? Dude, what's going on with you? Like, you disappear for... You can't think of this. 1, 2... So he was 6 about the last time you really saw him. So you kind of disappeared like 9 years ago, and I haven't really heard much about you. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, so you went off, all this, and Izuku's like, I can't really explain all of it, Kachan, but it was nice seeing you. And he turns to Melissa's like, I'm sorry for breaking the promise to you, but when I realized it was Kachan, I couldn't stop myself. I couldn't just watch him die. And Melissa, like, basically, like, hugs him and says, I understand, Izu. And she walks over to Katsuki and basically, it's nice to meet someone that knew, that's knew Izuku before I met him. It's a pleasure to meet you. I believe Kachan? And Bakugo's like, it's Katsuki Bakugo. That's just what he calls me. And I'm sorry, Deku, for calling you that. Midori, I'm sorry for calling you Deku. And Izuku's like, it's fine. It's actually nice to hear you say that. I'm sorry I haven't really gotten in contact with you, but... Well, in any case, here's my address. Could you come over tomorrow? I'd really like to catch up. So, like, after saying goodbye to Katsuki, both Melissa and Izuku jump off. And Katsuki's just standing there. It's like, wow, he's gotten so much stronger. Well, damn. Hope he's not trying to get into UA. I really, like, oh God. Well, in any case, I'm going to train my ass off next to catch up with him, cause, whew, and he has a lot of power now, and he's engaged. I'm gonna have to ask him about that. So the next day comes, and Katsuki shows up to Izuku's home, and he rings the doorbell, and he hears a voice. It's like, state your name and business. And Katsuki's like, well, my friend Deku, he gave me this address, and I think I may have the wrong thing. And the voice says, oh, you're a friend of Mr. Midoriya's. One moment while I confirm identity. And it's like, identity confirmed. Katsuki Bakugo. You may enter. And Izuku, when he comes in, he just sees Izuku running. And he's like, security system off. Override. Guest approved to enter. And Katsuki's like, Izuku, what's going on? How do you have such a big house? Last I remembered, your family wasn't this well off. And Izuku begins to smile, and he's like, have you heard of MTT And Katsuki's like, wait, you're that Midoriya? Whoa, dude. Wait, I'm friends with... Then Katsuki's brain kind of breaks for a minute. And Izuku, snaps him out of it, snapping his finger. Do have some more time. So he basically gets Katsuki too, and he's like, yeah, I started the company when I was 10, and I started the company when I was 9, and I've made some good investments, and I've invented a few things. That also brings me here. Kachan, have you ever thought about, you still want to be a pro hero, right? And Katsuki's like, yeah, I've actually planning on going to UA. What about you? And Izuku's like, yeah, I wanted to go to UA, but I think I can help you out. And Kachan's like, well, what do you mean? And Izuku's like, well, I have a procedure that I can heal you right up and get rid of those scars and stuff that you have from the attack the other day. And sorry I didn't really explain everything, but I kind of had some things with Mel the other day that I had to take care of. So I really want to catch up, and maybe I can help you train. Because I didn't get as strong as you saw the other day, just at the get-go. Well, I did have some abnormal strength, but I'm way stronger now. And I realized that I can... He basically well, first off, can you sign this? And Izuku's it's an NDSA clause. What I'm about to say kind of is company secrets, so... He's reading over it, and Katsuki's like, I don't think I can legally sign this. And Izuku's like, well, I've already talked to your mom. I talked to her last night about it. And she's basically signing the same papers now. And I told her that you would have to sign it, but this copy is for you only. Basically, she signed a waiver releasing you. And I got it, last night. I basically explained to her, the thing, and Katsuki's like, wait, my mom knows now? And Izuku's like, yeah, she kind of freaked out like you did, but she understands why. I haven't really contacted. I've just been really busy with the company and everything. So, again, if you want me to help you train, I can help you train, and I'm pretty sure I can get you up to, a state that you normally wouldn't be able to. And Katsuki's like, whatever, okay, well, in any case, I guess I have no choice then. Otherwise, I can't learn how you got so strong. And Izuku kind of laughs, and Bakugo laughs too, and he's like, okay, so now what? And he's like, well, follow me. And Izuku basically shows him his lab, and he's like, well, I've been working on something. I've tested it on one other person, and I've gotten other human trials approved for this. And he basically pulls out a vial of the regen serum that he says, I've been working on this for a while now, and I think I've gotten all the kinks out of it. And Baku's like, whoa, what are you doing? And he's just like, don't worry, Hachan. It didn't hurt All Might, so it helped All Might out. And he's like, wait, you know All Might? And he's just like, yeah, I will explain that later. For now, let's get this over with. And Mizuku basically pulls out a syringe, like an injection syringe that's like a gun, and basically puts it up to Katsuki's arm, and he gives him basically a inoculation. And Katsuki kind of starts coughing a little bit, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's kind of something I haven't been able to get rid of." And after a few minutes, Katsuki's like, "Whoa, dude, what's going on? Whoa, that's amazing." And Izuku's like, "Yeah, the kinks aren't really worked out yet. I don't want this to be like a permanent thing, really, or whatever. I just want this to be able to heal wounds that necessarily. If we cut back on people dying from inoperable things." Basically, it's my cure. It's something that I've been working on to cure inoperable cancers or stuff like that. And I kind of found this out. But the public doesn't really know about. They just know about other stuff. So that's why I kind of had to have you sign an NDA. And Katsuki then says, "Dude, you talk kind of weird now." And Izuku's like, "Yeah, I've learned a lot of things. I think I'm more mature than people my age." And Katsu's like, "What do you mean? What's that supposed to mean?" And Izuku's like, "It's nothing bad, Kachan. It's just a side effect of my quirk. And I was involved in an accident. That's how I got the strength and everything. And it kind of had a side effect where it increased my super intelligence quirk a little bit. So, again, do you want to train?" And I kind of wanted to ask you, can you help me out with refining the serum? Because if I can get this down, it could solve so much of the world's medical issues, and that's one of my life goals, is to advance medical science, and this is something that I believe can do it. So Katsuki agrees. So this is coming up on 43 minutes. This is coming up on 43 minutes itself, and I do have about 10 minutes to where I need to get dressed into my uniform and everything, because I do have to start work right after I upload this. So with that being said, thank you, beautiful souls, again for the 500 subs. I did want to kind of update this, but there are a few things that I wanted to work on, and I'm glad I did. So the next couple of episodes in the series will actually go over the 10-month training arc with Katsuki, Melissa, and Izuku. So that being said, I will see you, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you, beautiful souls, in the next video.